Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show tonight. Pamela, me, and Jenna. In a few minutes, we're all going to be talking about the Challenge, Season 40, Battle of the Eras, Episode 8, The Era of the Gladiator. Did you like that?
Wow.
Did you like that in commercial promo advertising during the Daily Challenge?
I really did, and I like this. The last one that I'm recalling that was Puss in Boots. Remember when there was a Puss in Boots tie-in? And
Maybe. Yeah.
there was, and we were making fun of how not Puss in Boots related the daily what they had them
Yeah.
like something on a rope, but I remember being like, what is going on with this? This actually made sense. And they didn't weirdly overhype the movie and like play clips of it the whole time. It made me excited. For real, I
I'm
was like, all right, cool. I'm excited. I like
I mean,
Gladiator too.
I'm
Me
with
too.
TJ. I love the original movie, so I'm excited to see the. I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's just a new story to tell. I assume it's just a different. I mean, yeah. Anyways,
And I
but
feel
yeah,
like he said a lot of this. Obviously, it's not the same story, but it's still Ridley Scott who directed the original, is the director. So it's got to be somehow, at least it's not just like the new era of Gladiator. It's not going to be like a total redo. I think it is a
yeah.
sequel.
Pam, has anyone ever said that you're glowing?
So I like that I have my spooky green
Yeah, your
Halloween
lighting is
vibe.
great. There, oh, there. See that.
I don't know what it is. Um,
You're back now.
we'll have to see. I have it on blur, so it looks like my hair just ends at a sort of
No, right.
weird
For
place.
sure. Yeah.
Part of my hair does sort of end there, but it's very strange looking. I kind of like it, just one side of hair. Um, but yeah, my house at this hour apparently is backlit in green. So
It sure is.
just for Halloween or October.
Yeah. Speaking of glowing. Here comes Jenna. I mean,
Oh, okay.
here's your segue.
Yay. Speaking of Halloween,
We're
is that
we're
a
already
metaphor?
It's
live, Jenna.
recording.
We're already live. So
How live?
don't swear right now. I know you like to swear right when you get on and just say a bunch of swear. We're live. We're on. It's recording.
I
So
gotta
yeah,
get them all out. I like to just get them all
I know
out.
you do.
Okay.
I know. I know.
How deep into the episode are we?
We
No,
have
we did.
talked about
We haven't even started
Gladiator.
yet. We were too busy small
Talking
talking.
about Gladiator.
Are we talking about flooring again?
No,
No, no.
Gladiator, the
She's making fun of us because remember you and I talked about flooring the other week, Pamela.
what did we say?
By the
Because
way, the
we
floor in my spare bedroom looks absolutely phenomenal, by the way.
There you
we did it.
go.
But that's what we talked about. I went today to my new house to look at the floor in the rest of the house
There
because
you go.
I was like, I like dark wood. And everyone was like, you can't just like pick a wood. You have to like do what's in the rest of the house. And I was like, do I? Because
I
I like
mean,
dark wood. Like, can't our bedroom be different than the rest of the house?
I
it's
said,
definitely
why not?
why not? It's ours is all the
Like, we're
same.
buying it. Can't I do whatever I want?
Of course, it's your
Yeah.
house, but like ours is all the same because like when you run into a different room, you kind of want it to. You can put a threshold up though to kind of separate it, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
Our bedroom has a door to the outside too, like the primary room. So I'm like, can't we do whatever we want? It's big, it's good. It has, I feel like when you shut that door, you're in your own oasis.
Oh my
I
goodness.
understand having the other two little rooms the same as the flow of the rest of the house.
Hmm.
For our room, can't we do whatever we want?
You can do whatever you want always, I think. Well, I guess
Yeah.
maybe not always, like not legally. If you're
Yeah.
just
Inside your own house, I would think so, right? I mean,
I think you can do
I
what you want in
agree.
your own house.
Let us know. That's the important thing. Is it tacky to have like a bedroom that has a different? I feel
well,
like our
I think
bedroom
so.
here, if it was
I
different than the rest of this
Wait,
place, wouldn't offend me.
first off, offend. It wouldn't offend you. There's trends, right? There was once upon a time people had 18 different color carpets in their house, depending on their room. So I
right.
think do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if it's gonna like really mess up, if it's like stupid and gonna look awkward, obviously I won't do it.
I mean,
But
I would
Let's
keep
get a
like
poll
if you
so
have
the
like a
commenters can vote what colors you should put in your.
yeah, stick with the wood of the whole house or go rogue in the bedroom.
I think I mean, in the bedroom's fine. I think if you're like living room and kitchen area, and like, I think you should probably keep all of that kind of flowing.
All wood already, and we're keeping that. But everybody has told me, oh, you just get whatever's in the rest of the house. And I was like,
Hmm.
here I was picking out cool tile pattern.
Do you?
Okay, so we were talking
Anyway,
about the Gladiator promo they threw in at the Daily Challenge just briefly. We both are excited to see the movie. We didn't think it was like too crazy. It was kind of fun. Pamela brought up the point. It actually had to do with like the challenge. It kind of like versus like she said, Puss in Boots is like what the hell's Puss in Boots do?
Was the like
I love the Puss in Boots challenge.
Remember, you were fresh because I was like,
I will say I loved the challenge game and I loved the elimination game. And I'm thankful for the Gladiator movie for bringing that sort of creativity to the show, bringing that kind of physical, fun challenge. It's funny because it's about a Gladiator movie, but I also felt like it could have been like a kid's birthday party because, or like a field day. Like when people are pushing each other off of that balance beam, it's like a game that's played at a festival or like a field day.
You know where I played that game, Jenna?
The lake, I'm sure, at summer camp.
King of the Mountain on the dock, and then if you got pushed in the lake, you lose. Last person standing wins.
It's very much like kind of a summer camp kids kind of game at the same time, while also being in the same realm of the most vicious, gruesome, historical, you know what I mean? But yeah, thanks to Gladiator. It's always funny when they have to kind of add a promo to a movie. It's always a little cheesy. What else can you do? You kind of have to do what you got to do, hit the nail on the head. But I loved everything else that came with them having to promote the movie.
That's what we were legit. It reminded me of Puss in Boots because that's when everyone was like, God, you guys hate the show. Stop talking about it. And I was like, no, this was extra stupid, especially as a tie-in with an MTV. Like Gladiator completely worked and made sense. Puss in Boots was like, they had to have like Tori be like, oh, I have a cat. I can't wait to see Puss in Boots. Like it was the weirdest.
Well, it was really funny because can I be honest? I've only seen Gladiator once, actually, very recently, and it was fantastic and emotional and everything. But when Avery said, just like in Gladiator, teamwork makes the dream work, and I was kind of like, okay. And my husband was like, well, I guess because all the slaves and all the people who were
when they had to fight together against the tigers, that was teamwork,
they did come together, but it was a little bit like, okay, have you seen the movie where you're told to say that? But now I understand, everybody came together in that battle, so I guess it made sense. But
sort of. But in Gladiator, because I did love it, even though I haven't seen it in a long time. Mark, isn't his name good? The guy, the good one, Marcus Aurelius, is that his name?
Maximus.
Maximus.
What is Marcus Aurelius? Is that
Maximus Aurelius? That might be Joaquin's name. Someone's named that. I couldn't have just made that up.
Joaquin is like is a Caesar. He's one of the
But so the point is he does, the good guy, Russell Crowe, says everybody, like he outsmarts the people that just want to kill them off by having them sort of unite. So I guess that's where teamwork, but a week stick to I'm a pervert for Sherbert. It's better one liner, Avery. Much better.
No, she did. It did just take me a moment to realize what the correlation between teamwork makes the dream work. It's just, my knee-jerk reaction to that was like it felt kind of fluffy and silly for the like very intense Gladiator movie where it was like one person left standing, like one person against the world, but I get it. Anyway, we don't need to be too hard on Avery's comment. It was just a funny takeaway that I had.
Funny.
We can be hard on Avery's performance in the elimination because as much as I love Avery, that was awful and pathetic at the same time. So but we'll get into that. Let's do quickly some of the vignettes. Not really much to talk about here, but I do think that something that I keep thinking about every week now, and I want to bring it up, is who you get nominated with is a huge deal, but I don't just mean your partner who you get nominated with. I mean like the people in the other eras as well, because if you're working with other teams, I started realizing it tonight, like how important like the relationship between Derrick and Avery could possibly be, depending on who won that. It didn't really work out that way during the daily tonight, but I was thinking about that, and now I noticed going into when they voted the targets in this week, like when Devin voted himself in, did you notice Tori like raised her hand right away? Like she either wanted to support Devin or, felt like that was going to be a good match for them if they had to win together, they die together, win together, whatever. I just think it's very interesting. It not only matters who your initial teammate is, but also who gets nominated in the other eras, because you could be working together in theory, especially like the Gladiator one tonight's a perfect example. Like if they had known ahead of time the two targets, like 2 and 3, whoever wants to work together, like we're all this, like we need to win this thing so we don't make 1 and 4 go against each other, whatever it's going to be. So I think it's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Pam.
No, I was just saying, yeah, that's a really good point that there's so many moving parts to these finals and who goes in and how it all shakes out.
Yeah. Um, and it's such an influence too who you're going against because once that other power couple wins, like we saw tonight, the rest of their era doesn't have, that much of a say. So your ties with a certain era are obviously less important as the singular people that you're up against, So like if era 3 and 4 are working together, but if you're in era 3 and you're not that person that has that tie with era 4, your whole allyship between teams doesn't really matter because it's all the individuals from those teams,
Yeah. Well, I'll save this because I'm jumping ahead, but I let we skipped right. We're flooring and Puss in Boots. We skipped over overall. Overall, I like loved this, and I love that some different things happened on this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I love it. And you know what? Just shout out right away to Theo for entertainment, for sticking to his guns, for being strong, for being a great competitor, and also being funny and being kind of sneaky with the group dynamic, which we saw. So he's great on the show.
Well, the Vacation Alliance is great when it's a numbers game and you can do all these things. And I understand their loyalty, et cetera, and that they're friends in real life and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, A, you can't save everybody. B, you have to win. A lot of the meat of the Vacation Alliance is that people like Tori and Casey, I don't know, are good. So they wind up winning a lot. And then having the numbers just allows others to be safe. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't expect people because you're friendly with them to not vote in your team because you're friends. Like it was just a bridge too far for me again with the like loyalty testing. It's like, how much do you want from people?
I was wondering, Jenna, you brought up the Theo thing, so you loved everything he did tonight, huh? Because
Well, I found, yeah, I did. Yes.
I loved what he did during the daily, and then I totally flipped on him with his weak sauce. I thought it was a weak sauce move. Like, dude, take accountability.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was it's an attempt at a strategy. I understand what he's saying. He's like, hey, I want to do what I want to do, but like maybe I could take the heat off. I also just think the way information is presented is important. Like he's not acting like a dick when he's doing this. He's not sticking out his chest. He's knowingly being like, this is kind of funny. I know that I'm doing this. I know that I'm trying to give off this facade of a group decision because I really just don't want people to blame everything on Jenny and I. So I like the self-awareness of it. He's just trying something, he's not. Yeah, I don't know. There's just
I think I was too
the way you go about these tactics is important, and I found the humor in it. Like I felt like he was taking a funny shot in the dark approach with it. That was my interpretation.
I was rooting for Corey too much, so I just was like getting upset by the way he was getting kind of walked all over and blamed for things, especially during the daily challenge with Derrick. We'll get into that. Like I was totally on. I think a lot of people will be on Derrick's side because he's such an OG, but I was on Corey's side for that. Because I did think that he showed him some mercy and left him alone. They left him stay. They could have wiped him out in 2 seconds if they wanted to, and they kind of eventually hit him one time pretty hard. Get over it, Derrick. Like I'm surprised Derrick's even still there. Well, now he's not, but that leg thing, he shouldn't even have been there, as far as I'm concerned.
I totally hear what you're saying about that. It was nice of them to kind of leave him alone. But at the end of the day, it's like, what, you're not going to beat up the three-legged dog? Again, it does come down to like, oh, thanks. Like, what threat is Derrick to anyone really at this point, unfortunately, as a team member or he doesn't have a team. He's injured. Like, it's literally, he is the wounded dog. But it's like.
Yeah, but Derrick was getting really upset with Corey. He was like talking shit to him. And then, Corey barked back at him, basically.
Yeah, I feel like I can understand both of their sides because at first I thought the same thing as you, Dan. I was like, okay, well, it looks like Derrick started this. And then Corey came over, said his piece about it, walked away, and then Derrick threw something at him. So it almost feels like, did then Derrick escalate it? But then I rewinded and watched it again. And Derrick is from the older school of competitors on the challenge where they do talk passionate to each other, and it doesn't always mean like now it's time for a confrontational fight. You know what I mean? Like going back, it seemed like Derrick was kind of just saying something to him, but not like in fighting words. You know what I mean? And then Corey kind of charged physically, so it was a little bit more of
But
like a
what did Derrick say?
physical.
Do you remember exactly what Derrick said to Corey? He said like way to not be able to finish the fight. Like he gave him, what wasn't it, something like that?
You know what, I have it, but it says
I thought I knew it. I feel like I
Eric was the
watched this
first
way
person
too
to
early.
say something. He said, like, speaking of not playing the game, and then Corey was like, I gave mercy on you. I could
Right,
have
right,
taken
right,
you over
right.
the edge. So that's what I'm saying is I can kind of understand both perspectives. Like, should Derek have initiated it? He was the first person to spark the fight, but also did it is Corey's physicality kind of justified? You know, it did some, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also like, yeah, if you bark at someone and they bark back, it kind of is what happens. And then he just like sucker threw a backpack at his back as he was walking away.
A life
That
jacket, I
was a
guess.
little bit like it wasn't hard. It definitely wasn't like a hard thing, but it was like, I don't know, a little bit of a
Yeah, it was. Well, to me, it was like a
punch
little
cop out sort of thing.
temper tantrum type
Yeah.
way. And then
It did seem a little
I'm
temper
glad Jordan
tantrum.
called him out. I'm glad Jordan called him out at the elimination too.
Yeah, whatever. I feel
You
like
don't care about, yeah, you don't care about that stuff. I would feel disrespect if someone threw a life jacket at my back as I'm walking away from the situation. Like, if you want to say something, you just say it. Like, I don't like that stuff. So that would
Yeah,
bother
for
me
you.
too.
I mean, it's almost silly. It's like someone sticking their
It's
tongue out at you.
silly.
Like,
yeah. But
It's
it is like, okay, well now I
right.
actually might fight you. Like now you actually did throw something at me. Now
right.
yeah. So yeah.
It's, I actually, honestly, I'm not mad at Corey about his reaction, and I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily mad at Derek. I thought that they were both.
Same.
I agree with both of their stances and could empathize with both of them. I just feel, unfortunately, like Corey's not super good at expressing himself, because I feel like Corey did have more of a leg to stand on, but he just didn't like explain it well.
I think Corey's going through a lot this season. I think he's done, his team doesn't even like keeps like putting him down there, and then he's having to deal with other issues. I mean, I
No,
think
he
that
is.
he's going through a lot this season. He's handling it the best he can, but we know Corey. He's a nice enough guy, but he's not the smartest dude out there, and he's maybe not the best at politicking and all that stuff. But his team doesn't even want to really work with. He's gonna get voted in every time, and that's the same with like a Jenny type too on her team. Like
Well,
it just sucks.
that's my question that I didn't understand, because wasn't Derek Corey in? You not be in 2 weeks in a row? I feel like Corey
They
was
don't have
in
any
two.
other players. They don't have any
Corey, not
other players.
Derek,
Are you
not
talking about
Derek,
Corey?
Corey. Yeah,
Corey wasn't 2 weeks in a row.
he wasn't. I guess not, but I feel like wasn't he?
Who beat?
The,
Who won at that you had to throw? Was it Brad versus Corey where you had to throw the
yes,
ball on the spike?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
And then what was after that?
I don't know,
Something
but
good. I
I can't
think
remember.
Darrell versus
Durrell.
Highland.
Highlands. Yes.
Kylan
Yeah.
versus Darrell, and see, and that's the
Good
point.
job.
Then Corey gets voted back in this week, so
Again.
it's like, okay,
Corey absolutely has a hard place in the game, and I understand why he's feeling the way he is. I think it's been under the surface for a while, so now this episode 8 erupted. So I agree with you, Pam. I understand both sides of this, and it's interesting because it kind of feels like Derek and Corey, the people going at each other, are coming from the same
Yeah.
place. They're both coming from the place of isolation, feeling like they're being ganged up on. Derek is alone. Corey feels like he's alone and that people are he made a remark that he feels like everyone's like playing with him or everyone's like thinking he's
Yeah.
something in the game. So they both kind of feel similarly and they're going at each other because they're like isolated from their teams and their allies.
Absolutely. And that's why I do feel for both of them, because Derek, it's literally he's a lone wolf, and what what I don't know what he's honestly even hoping to accomplish or do at that point, because there's really not that much. And Corey within the team feels that way, which is even shittier to some
Well,
level.
Devin did
Um,
volunteer himself though this week, so Corey does get a break either way. He would have gotten the break,
Yeah.
but Devin, I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered because there's no way Corey can go in again. But at least Devin stepped it up and volunteered versus like, I mean, I guess he has to because he only has friends on the team at this point. If Corey, I wonder if it would have been different if Corey was up for the thing. Would Devin have waited another week to say anything? Most
Yeah,
likely.
probably.
Kind of am over people being honorable and volunteering. That's not what we wanted from the
Maybe they
target
shouldn't be
part of
allowed
it.
to volunteer. What if they're not allowed to volunteer? They have
I
to just
get
pick
it for
someone.
team camaraderie. I get it for how you look in the game and like this is the right thing you have to do for your team. But for watching the TV show, we just want people to straight up pick targets.
That's what they want.
I'm sick of people. I don't know. It kind of takes away a little bit of the emphasis at the end. Like, hey, you just won an elimination. That's hard. And that's a lot of stress and pressure when you go into it. Now you get rewarded. And maybe it's not actually a reward. It could be if you want to be bold and you want to just call people out and you don't care about consequences. But at the same time, it also could be like a shit, I don't want to have this power. I don't want to see people react to who I pick. I don't want to piss people off. So it's almost like a reward and a consequence. But I'd like to see, that's why I loved Corey picking Era too, not hesitating, picking Laurel. I was like, hell
Well, you know
yeah.
what I want to
Hell
see?
yeah.
You know what I would want to see then? I want to see when someone does volunteer and they say, no, thanks, I'm still going bananas. I wanted that to happen.
Yes.
Like give me
Yes.
some of that
down.
stuff.
Hand down Ryan.
Yeah,
Right,
because
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Ryan, no, Ryan, thank you for volunteering. Bananas, you'll be with Laurel again. Good luck.
I know. That's
I wish
how
that
I was
happened.
feeling too. Because Ryan, you don't have to prove why? Who wants to volunteer? Bananas would never, ever volunteer.
No.
If it
Well,
was
but
the
this
right
is the
thing to do, he would never do it. So don't feel like you have to prove yourself
Jenna,
because
this is the genius. This is the genius of bananas. He's been bothering Ryan for
he's
weeks.
getting in his head,
He had,
bullying
and he
him into
did.
thinking. So now, Ryan, guess what? Even if you aren't the type of competitor Bananas is, you still got a call to be on this show. You're here. You don't have to do what you think Bananas thinks you have to do.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
get that paycheck weekly. You enjoy.
Get your
Like,
weekly paycheck.
Josh, like you're
Shit
not, I'm
about
sorry.
him.
Yeah, again. And I liked when he was fighting back and he's like, oh, good, we're middle-aged now. I'm glad you won. Like it is at a certain point when like Bananas is obviously different from most. Oh, I was once on the challenge people. He is the challenge. He's blah, 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 blah. We know he'll remind us. But I liked Ryan's heat where it's like, listen, being glad that you won this thing, get something else to be excited about. I get it. So, and I loved that the montage where they just showed bananas on top of bananas on top of bananas, just talking about himself like a time lapse. But no, I liked Ryan. I wish he didn't. I wish he stuck to his guns and was like, fuck that. If someone wants me in, they can vote me in. Otherwise, you keep going, big boy.
With
Yeah,
all
you're
that
super-
said, though,
Super-
we're ganging up on bananas here. With all that said, Ryan is a layup, man. He's a mediocre at best
Sure,
player.
Dan, that's fine. However, if the banana would never volunteer. He
The
would never
banana.
volunteer.
If I'm on another team, I want
No
to get
S, no S.
not Ryan. But
Just-
honestly, if he's a layup, then I want to see him in a final over bananas. Fine, let it be Ryan to the end. Ryan and Aviv.
Regardless, it's just the tactic of bananas to say, you're slipping by this season, you're not doing anything, you're skating by. You would too if you could.
I know. Again,
worked.
proving how good Bananas is at this game. He somehow convinced Ryan after all these weeks to volunteer himself when Ryan should have totally not done that. Who cares what Bananas thinks, man?
Because guess what? Like we said last week, Bananas has thrown team challenges if it can benefit himself. And maybe he wants Ryan in. It's another
Guess what?
number, it's another team number
Would
for
you
him.
be surprised?
No, that's what I'm saying.
If Bananas purposely lost the challenge next week to get Ryan in there, why not? I bet watch for that.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Doesn't
Is
wanna
like,
lose Laurel.
by volunteering yourself, you're putting also
right.
all of your trust in teammates who have shown themselves to be sketchy towards you. So Yeah, I would be
I,
sad if I see that.
I would like him to have kept that sassy bitch energy and not volunteered
Yeah.
himself, but and had bananas go in. I
But
really would have.
also, I understand where he's coming from because he's probably also thinking, like, I should, I guess, prove this to myself and everyone. If everyone's thinking, like, what am I doing here? I guess let me, I could understand why he decided internally to make that decision, but I still think he shouldn't have cared.
I wish he didn't.
Yeah.
Right, I wanted more fighting between him and Bananas for sure. I wanted Bananas after this episode, or
It
go
was
back and I
great.
can't believe I'm up for not like a target again. Thanks, Ryan, and just keep. But
Yeah,
maybe
and
It was a lot of fun to watch. It wasn't one of those where you're like Lord, it wasn't like below the belt. It was fun because it was kind of right. And then Ryan was right back at him with good comebacks that were good. And he's like, "You're ridiculous." They seemed also like, "I like you." At the end of the day, no one was taking it way too seriously, which was great. It wasn't below the belt.
yeah. But because we haven't really detailed the whole daily challenge of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, Bananas was the first man pushed off of the playing field,
he
right?
was. I
Yeah.
mean, it was kind of hard to tell how it all went down if he got ganged up
It
on,
was
whatever
a
that
little
happened.
bit.
But he
Yeah,
definitely was the first one down. Yeah.
I wish again we had a little bit more of a like wide shot, bird's eye view like we talk about a lot because
Yeah.
they did throw in a little bit too many, I think, like effect, just for the effect of it, like slow-mo pushing and stuff. I'm like, no, but I want to see how this is working. Like who's teaming up together, who's getting out.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we always talk about how the challenge has kind of gotten soft. I mean, tonight that was crazy. Josh had blood pouring down from his helmet. Jordan got a big cut on his face. So, I mean, there's definitely that was a
Yeah.
rough challenge to
I
be
feel
a
like
part
this
of.
would be equal parts so fun and also so scary.
Why wouldn't they put instead of just having the helmet on him, why wouldn't they put that? They have that cage contraption where they put the helmet and it's got that like kind of like a almost like a catcher's mitt thing. That would have been a lot more safe. Like that would have probably been more beneficial for them for sure. I don't know why they didn't do that. Even like a
I don't
football
know.
helmet. But
I
yeah,
also couldn't quite gauge exactly how people were working together.
it was pain in the butt to try to figure it out. It
It
kind
was
of
a
sucked.
little hard to
Yeah.
figure out.
So
Yeah.
it was weird. It was era one, aka one person, and era four working together, and then two and three were
Yeah.
apparently working together. But then at some points I was like, wait, is era it's too messy because there's too much like run over from eras of like
Yeah.
people that want to work with other eras. It's kind
And
of
it also
messy.
just seemed a little bit targeted in the men's heat. Like at one point, the focus was just everybody ganging up on Theo, and say what you want about the rules. He was DQ'd for hunching over and not
Basically
standing up,
lying on the ground
but,
kind of
but
and
he
not
wasn't
it was
lying. He
look, I don't think he should have been
punched.
disqualified. I thought that rule was ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Um,
felt it was like a little confused. Like I just couldn't understand what was he doing wrong by hunching. He's planting. He wasn't laying on the
Was
ground.
he like squatting down? Maybe that
yeah,
was
I think it
Yeah,
was
but
more.
yeah.
I think it was
squatting
more.
with
You're
like
Yeah,
not.
thank you.
You have to be
like
standing
a
the whole
toe
time. I
Standing
think.
stretch.
up.
Yeah, like a toe stretch, hands to toe. Like it was kind of like that. But I just felt it was like such a testament to him. Like he's planted in the ground. All these guys are pushing him.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe he has a lower center of gravity, so it's harder for them to knock him out. I just was like, wow, good for you. Your whole, your quad strength sort of thing.
Yeah, I would have preferred more like a one-on-one situation instead of having the big group because they can all team up. If you do like one-on-ones, they did that and years ago where they were on like a really small platform, just a one-on-one. I remember Wes had to go against Big Easy, and Big Easy just chucked him off
Yeah.
the thing real fast. But a one-on-one would have at least been like, this is who I have to get off of this platform.
Yeah.
Like,
I like the team play though. I like being able to
but then, like everyone was just at the end. You had Devin, like instead of actually playing the game, trying to
just
like
standing.
he was like
Yeah.
trying to mentally say, "Hey, if you let him win, then we'll save you." Then you, where they're
Yeah.
strategized. No, beat the crap out of him and get him off the platform. That's the rule of the game. Stop trying to
Right.
manipulate the game that way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
would just
mean,
prefer
making
it.
deals isn't a bad thing either, but I do like that Theo said, I already made a promise to someone and I'm not selling out.
Well, how about this then? Then do like a 2-on-2 somehow. I guess you can't really do that
Yeah.
because Derek's on his own. But like something maybe if you want to mix and match it. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was a timed event. So then it's like, do you just do last man standing? Like true gladiator, literally fight to the death, Hunger Games, like
And
make
they
the last
did,
guy
and they
stand.
didn't. Obviously, they just said, "Oh, whoever's left after 5 minutes, right?" And then it's like, well, there's
Yeah.
like three people there, and That's why this event made no sense, or this elimination, or this daily challenge, because I'm sorry, I'm getting my thoughts together. Era
I
one,
liked it though.
thank you. Era one, let's be honest here. Unless Era one somehow got everybody else off into the water, there's no way that they can win or they're guaranteed last place, basically. Like, this was so, like, we always talk about how producers are kind of manipulating stuff. They didn't even try. Like Era one's obviously going to lose. Like, how the only way they can win is if what one-legged Derrick gets all the points off the thing.
An era of one. I mean, is Rachel a team? Like, are they considered still a team?
And then
Like,
I was going to ask you ladies later on thoughts on that. I think if Rachel loses, then it can only be a girl elimination then, because there's no dude to, you know what I mean? Like, it only can be if Era One comes in last place during the next daily challenge, it can only be a female elimination next week.
oh no, they'll have to do.
Who are they going to bring a guy
no,
back? CT going to come walking through that door? I don't think so.
There has to be a thing where if Rachel, what I'd like to see is if Rachel beats whoever is whoever else, then she takes their place. Like, it's just.
But even if they don't get last place, if Rachel doesn't win next week, literally the other era that wins, they can just put her down. Like, yeah, we'll just put her down there, no matter what you say,
It'll
Rachel.
probably be a time thing, maybe where
to last team, you know, if era.
there's not a team anymore. It has to be at individual times next week where the lowest person on every team is.
Ladies, do you think producers even considered this happening so early on in the season? We're like, holy crap, there might be an era that only has one person left. I don't think they even planned for this.
No.
They went back into their like little like rabbit hole, and they're like trying to come up with like, what can we do for Rachel now? How do we make this like even a thing? Like, how does she even work as a team now?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if their prediction was like CT winning the whole thing, you know?
Right.
CT or
it's like that one up in flames.
Or Rachel, literally somebody from Era One who is so seasoned and also in shape. I know CT didn't go in with the best shape this season, but he is someone who is always typically pretty good. So they probably were maybe expecting an Era One to make it very, very far.
At least further than this. This is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always seen like when it was good guys versus bad guys, like there was, I mean, one team had more than the other in the final, but there's still, it wasn't down to one person in the final running against 8 people. So
I know the daily challenge does suck for Era One, but it was going to suck whether it was Gladiators or go do a puzzle and parasail or whatever the hell. You know, it was going to suck regardless. So I loved this challenge still.
But it's not realistic to have a team of 2 against all other teams of like 6 plus. It just doesn't make any sense.
Rachel gets screwed because she remained in the girls' heat. She didn't get knocked out, but the other teams have a larger sample size. So
that's the problem, because in round 1, Derrick gets knocked off or whatever, so that's 0 people surviving, and then Rachel survived in the second round, so they get 1 point at the end. Well, in in round 1 of era 2, 3, and 4, era 2 had 1, era 3 had 2, era 4 had 2. They're already guaranteed to not even be able to place first. Now they're just trying not to get last, and boom, they got last. I mean, whatever.
They don't have the capability to even like place in this challenge.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Go on. Any more thoughts? Any more thoughts on the daily challenge?
I also thought for the girls' heat, no one really stuck out except for Tori. I feel like Tori, it was fun, like a Derrick, when the rest of her teammates got knocked out. Avery and Naya just shit the bed. They were the first ones out. So Tori's hanging out the outskirts. But then Era 2 does try to team up and get her out, and they just can't. They can't get her out. And I thought that, I was like, good for you, Tori.
Here's the thing. Laurel was full of crap, though. Laurel's like, well, if Cara wants me to help, I'll help. No, if you and Cara literally together started pushing at the same time, they would have got Tori off. They could
have. But it was funny that they couldn't, and that was my favorite moment of the challenge too, was Tori being like do like Bugs Bunnying behind a bush.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
and Cara noticing, and then I'm just jerk Laurel going, I've got Cara's back, standing still. It's like, you mean if Cara gets pushed, you might support her? Like, she wasn't working to help get Tori out.
Unfortunately, Cara is really good friends with Ryan, or I do feel like she at this point would throw the challenge next week. to be like, screw you, Laurel. Twice in a row now, you're not going to help me. Screw this. You're lucky I just didn't get voted in. So I really hope Cara throws a challenge, but she won't
I
because she
wish
doesn't
she
want Ryan
would,
to.
but
I
if
wish
she
she
didn't,
did already. I
yeah,
wish she did it at the balloon one when
yeah.
everyone was expecting her to. Girl, you don't need to be the competitor when you're on this team who's trying, we all want to see it.
No honor amongst thieves as bananas. It's true. It's like, listen,
Yeah.
she wouldn't give what you give. If you respect someone and they're honorable, then be honorable in response. But if it's Laurel, fuck it. Chuck your
Yeah.
honor out the window. She would
Yeah.
not give you the same. She got rid of Emily. She wouldn't give your team or you any of that same respect. So, and
Yeah.
same with Ryan and bananas. It's like, if you're doing it to make bananas comfortable, don't do it. If you're doing it to stick your neck out for a friend or someone you care about, great. But I say you get what you give. If someone
yeah.
gives me no respect, then
Yeah.
file my nails while they.
And then the girls' heat, it felt like not really much was going on actually. Like only two people got pushed out. Were they just gassed
Well,
out? Was
it's
really
funny.
hard
Naya
to
didn't
be
even
on
get
there?
pushed out. No,
She
Naya
kind
was
of got
trying to.
herself out.
She was trying to hit someone off and then fell
Yeah.
into the water.
Yeah. So really, like Avery was the only clean hit. I
And
was just like, what
Avery,
are
and
they?
let's be honest, Avery purposely like went, and I felt like she waited by the edge, put her
Yeah.
back to them because she didn't want to hurt her moneymaker, as she
It's
said,
like
and
I'm
just
not
let.
getting my face
So
fucked
like
up.
none of the girls really like legitimately for me felt like they got pushed off. So
Yeah, so I was kind of like, are they taking it easy on each other or are they actually tired? Because it is exhausting to hit another human being, It just
Yeah.
little
I just
more
think after the
tired.
guys' heat, the numbers were already there. There was obviously one for era two, two for era three, two for era four. So they were like, they kind of did the math there and they could figure out who was going to win the damn thing. So,
Yeah.
This is one of those things where, for me, I have a hard time following when it's just the wide shots of a thing like this, and you can't tell really who's what or what's going on unless they do like the GoPro, almost the
Oh, I
like.
wanted more
That's
wide
what I
shots. I felt
wanted.
like
I
it was
wanted more
too
like
in there.
POV of who's doing it and seeing it, because
I
then you
see.
really feel it. But it's hard for me to follow along with just like boom, boom, boom. Oh, someone's
I
gone.
wanted
Okay.
I wanted wide shots with the arrow pointing with the names because at some point I couldn't
Yes,
even tell who it was at the
right.
end. Like
With
I
Yeah.
like
the
the wide
shot,
shot,
it
but
was
like
really hard to tell.
tell me who
You
survived
tried.
it.
Yeah.
Give me some
Yeah.
names here.
I definitely had to rewind a lot, but they did do arrows with names.
Oh, did they at one point? All right.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Um,
Well, the good. Good on them.
so
Yeah.
Good on.
era four wins. Era
Mhm.
four wins. Era one obviously loses, and now it looks like it's going to be Avery, Corey, Cara Maria, and Derrick. And this is where I was like, okay, obviously Derrick, you don't want to go in, but maybe I mean Avery did save you earlier in the season. I know everyone's gonna be like, no, Derrick, you shouldn't do that. But this is where I was like, all right, maybe Derrick should at least. I know he's gonna piss off Cara Marie, but maybe he should step it up and at least say something about it and be like, look, Avery did hook you up. You were supposed to go in there, and Avery wouldn't vote for you. That was like, and she wasn't even on the block. She won the damn daily. That's like to another level. So I was hoping that Derrick would say something. Of course, I knew he wasn't going to because let's be honest, I know as far as good as Derrick has done the last couple seasons, this dude on the original show sucked. He was never good. I'll be nice and call him a C minus player, but to me, he's even worse than that. He's never been good at the show. So I would never expect him to put himself down there because he's not going to win. No matter what the elimination is, most
Yeah.
likely he's going to
Yeah.
lose. I'm
I
sorry.
feel
He
like
is.
that was a lose-lose for him. Whereas with the situation with her not saying him, it was directly in her power to say him or not say him, where this was like, I don't know, if he would have just
Yeah,
been
I
a hero
mean,
for no reason.
Avery did legitimately take his place in an
Correct.
elimination because she so badly did not want to see him down there. She literally went in. But Derrick, also because Tony was being a bonehead. But
Right.
Derrick has, who was it? Aviv with him? Was it Aviv? Cara?
I don't know. Oh, Cara's with him in this episode.
In
Yes.
this episode, sorry, in
Yes.
this episode. So if he wants to step in for Avery, he's not just doing that to
I
himself, he's
know.
doing that to Cara. So that's
Exactly.
also being a dick in a way too, to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay my friend back, which would have been honorable, but it's like, sorry, Cara, you gotta come with me. Like
I
you're
know.
collateral
Well,
damage. So
And that's what he said the first time around, when it's like Avery should never have been in that position to begin with. It's like it didn't make any sense. It was silly. But she did a very nice thing. But again, when they were like, why didn't you just volunteer to take that pressure off of her? It's like, because I'm not going to do that to someone else too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Derek, it would have been interesting to see. It would have been Derek versus Derek, I guess. And I do think that Derek K would have won that pretty convincingly. Sure. He got all of Corey's off, but he just didn't do it as fast.
We talk about the elimination.
And Derek was like, I thought I did it faster than him, but at the same time, I would be surprised if Derek K really did win, that producers wouldn't announce him as the winner, because that era is too like has no one in it. So I do think that Corey won fair and square.
He won. But
there's no conspiracy. I just think Derek performed so incredibly. I mean, even him trying to elude Corey with the bum leg, with the one leg, he still had some nice moves, and it looked so hard for him to do it. I was like, this sucks for him. He's against literally all odds. Like, he does not have the functionality. He's limping. And it's just so funny because, like we've talked about in past after shows, they've sent people home for like pinky finger fracture. Like, literally, like, oh, you have like a little bit of black and blue on your elbow, like you gotta go home. And he's legitimately probably has something very wrong with his knee or ankle or leg or whatever part of his leg it is. And he's still competing. And he's also competing balls to the wall, so much so that he actually looked like, I mean, it's all the puff of red smoke, whatever the material is that comes out of these garlic balls.
The gender reveal.
Corey at the end looked messed up, man. He was covered in this chalk substance.
All right, so hear me out on this.
Took it to him, like,
so Corey's face was entirely red, right?
Wait, Derek had a clown nose?
So, like, Derek literally, like, looked like a clown. I don't mean in his performance, but he looked like a legitimate clown at a circus. It was
really hard to watch.
I'm sure I didn't see any memes on any of the Instagram profiles I looked for the challenge on, but someone had to make a Bozo the Clown meme about him. I'm sure of it, because he looked legitimately exactly like a clown. It was hilarious.
Then promoting another Joaquin Phoenix movie. We already had the Gladiator promotion, and now he was giving Joker.
I heard the Joker 2 was hot garbage. Worst film of the year. I heard about this. I haven't seen it, though.
I'm so upset. I had such high hopes for it, but I'm not going to believe it. Maybe it's good.
Someone said it was basically a musical, and that Joaquin Phoenix should not be singing.
That's what I didn't realize it was a musical. But it is.
Well, when you bring Lady Gaga in, I guess, like, why not make it one? I guess I don't know, but
like a little bit of a singing, but not a whole musical. I don't know, whatever.
People are saying you should go watch it just because of how bad it is, so you can just see like how. I can't, like, I want to see it now too, but I'm going to wait till obviously it comes to Disney Plus or wherever the hell it's coming.
I want to make my own opinion.
Sometimes when I'm expecting something to be horrible, I'm like, wasn't that bad? Sometimes it's good to have a very, right, I'm like,
do
not that bad.
Yeah. But yeah, dang.
Derek still competed so well.
And it was nice that they pieced it up in the end, and they complimented one another. Really cute, really heartfelt. Derek.
Yes, that was really nice.
Yeah, you're who I want to compete like I want to come in here just like you. So that was really nice, because
it was adorable.
It
was really good. I feel like now I'm back to, I feel like this is one of those so random things that I have no idea. I feel like if Ryan or Derek against Derek, he could have won, just because it is one of those random ass things. Like, Derek K did great, but it's not impossible for what's his name to have won, for other Derek to have won.
Oh, so you think Derek versus Corey?
No, I think you think Derek versus Derek.
Derek versus Derek. I'm just saying, Derek, hands down, that Derek would have lost.
Derek K.
No, Derek K.
She's saying the other Derek. What's the other Derek's last name start with?
I don't know.
Yeah. Not sure.
Well, I think Derek K would have wiped the floor with him.
It
would have been done even if they both got all the targets off him. Derek K would have done it so much faster. I just know that, based on what I've seen.
I don't know how I haven't seen Derek the other one,
other
non-Derrick
one.
K, compete much. So I don't really know, but maybe he's got really good at dodging and weaving.
Yeah.
Dodging
thing
and
is,
weaving.
It's really hard to be blindfolded, truly. It's the
I feel
jingles
for Avery.
give
If we
you
suck,
away.
but I would stand there too. Like, it's
Jingles give you
terrifying.
away, and it is a small square footage ring that you're in. It's not that much space to cover. You're not running around an entire soccer field looking for somebody
I believe it
blindfolded.
was a hexagon or a
Oh, sorry,
sextagon.
whatever.
Gone.
My bad. So it is a matter of, it feels like once you do find that person and get your hands on them, you can really drill into them and you can get a lot done. You can be efficient, right? But being blindfolded is hard as hell. It's to find someone. So I think, yeah, I mean, you have to use that to your advantage, and Avery didn't, that's for sure.
No, however, we know from the daily that she was like, my face.
And
And
why
what
are
a
you not
scary
running?
feeling.
Why are you
be,
not running from the person who boxes? Then why are you
I
not?
think she was just
Yeah,
like
so
standing.
let's.
She wasn't even. She was just like,
No, like this. Like this. Hit me.
Because it's scary. I guess it's scary to be. I know. I mean, she did
but
suck.
you have
but
the advantage. I think being able to, I think not being blindfolded when you're somebody who is used to seeing, you have the advantage against the person that's blindfolded. Like, I think it's a lot harder for the person blindfolded.
I do have my conspiracy of the night, by the way. And everybody else can go back and watch this tape because, yes, I will 100% admit Avery sucked. Very disappointing. All she had to do, I don't know why her team wasn't yelling. I don't know why she wasn't thinking this. I don't know.
Jordan's
Run around. Here's my
Mhm.
problem, though, with the whole thing. I do believe that Rachel could see. And let me explain why.
Really?
Let me explain why. You'll notice if you go back and watch. No, she did not do this. She did not do this. If you go back and watch the tape, and you can all go do this, everyone at home can do this too. This is what Rachel was doing the entire time. She had her chin up, and she was looking down below the mask.
Been able to see some of the something under the under the eye hole.
All you got to do is see her effing feet. Look at as you see where Avery's feet are. You know her body's above her feet, and you just nail her. So I'm telling you right now, go back and watch the tape. You can see Rachel doing this the whole time. Why would she? Who runs like this? You run like this. So clearly, I think that she was looking underneath the mask and at her feet, and then found her. I mean, she was going to win no matter what. I do believe because Avery was awful, but that's still kind of BS to me. But go back and watch it.
If I was covered up like this and I could see a little peek under here, I would do the same thing. Like,
I'm not saying that she did anything wrong. I'm saying that step it up and cover her goddamn eyes. Whoever what are you doing, guys? Like, cover her eyes.
I did not pick up on that.
I didn't either, but
there was a few other things too with Derrick and Corey that I was a little bit curious of at times. When Derrick got a good grip on Corey, it looked like Corey pushed him off first off, which I don't know if the person who will, because it was Derrick blindfolded hitting. So I don't know if you're the person trying to elude the hitter, if you're allowed to do something like that. First off, that seems like, but also Corey pointed at him in a way that's like, like he's not supposed to be doing that. So I don't think the person who's punching can, once you find your competition, I don't think you can wrap around them and hug onto them because it looked like Derrick held on to Corey and Corey pushed him, was like, like pointing. But then also at the end, did you guys see at the very end after Derrick got the last few targets on Corey like basically threw him to the ground. Like he literally like propped him right on the ground. It was just me. Go back and watch it. I was like, whoa, that doesn't seem like that should be part of this, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sketchy rules and regulations in these eliminations the entire season. I don't know what that rule is because, of course, TJ didn't tell us, the audience member. Well, if they wrap you up, you're more than welcome to push them off you. Because if someone wrapped me up, I would be like, get off me and try to run away if that's the goal of the game.
I think that's fair. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's something that I noticed that Corey like tackled him to the ground at the end of it.
Yeah, but Derrick was like, when Derrick got and was punching him, he was like kind of wrapping himself around and kind of just trying to do like this on him. It's like, well, I mean, it's all whatever. It was a messy game, literally, with all the paint flying everywhere. So whatever, just let it happen. But
I think if we had him fully, it would have been even more of a hell of a show, and it already was, But if we had him fully when he had the jingle jangles on, it would have been.
I honestly think, look, I'm sorry, but like that space was too small. They should have made it a little bit bigger. The jingle jangles gave it away way too easily. They were the jingle.
It little elves.
Hashtag
Little
jingle
elves.
jangles if you want to join the comment section of our show tonight. Hashtag
Hashtag jingle jangles. But again, it should have been more Marco Polo, where like,
What if they
No,
were
not
literally
the
playing Marco
Super Bowl.
Polo and the other person had to like answer Marco Polo?
right.
I love blindfolded eliminations so much. They like stick out in history as some of my favorite eliminations. Do you remember Nani and whoever her partner was, maybe Teresa and Rivals had to play soccer blindfolded, and Wes had to do it too.
No,
And then there
Wes
was
had to do one with a stick where he had a whip.
no, Wes did soccer blindfolded, and it was so yes, Wes, and then Preston and Knight did the swords blindfolded.
I
Absolutely.
swore that
Wes
Wes
did that too. Maybe
did I
Wes
do
was-
both. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh
All
my God, they're just so good when they're blindfolded. It's
Yeah, blindfold is fun to watch, not fun to do.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any more thoughts? Well, we'll do targets right next. But any more thoughts on the elimination before we do targets?
I think so.
Okay, so targets obviously. Corey and Rachel win. Corey, I gotta give Casey credit here, even though I'm not a huge fan. She does volunteer. It was her turn. Last week, did you and I do the math, Jenna, about Casey? It's her turn, or was it Pam and I maybe the week before? But what's up, Pam? What's wrong? What's wrong, Pam?
Just Casey. Seriously, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her and Josh were actually pissing me off tonight because then they kind of denied the voting thing for Corey. It's like, Josh, I thought you were boys with Corey. Why
We
would
didn't
you
really
just
talk about that. We need to talk
yeah,
about
then fine.
sorry,
Josh
that's
is
my favorite part, is the
Josh is the
Corey
worst.
fight.
I was thinking of you, Pamela. I'm like, this is a great F you Josh moment because he's the worst. He's
Such
a
an
challenger.
asshole.
He's so bad at everything. He's bad at
such a piece of
challenges.
shit too. Like,
He's just not good. Everyone's like, oh, you're good at politicking, Josh. Josh, you suck. You suck at everything. He's really
Josh
pissing me off.
good at not letting us see that he's obviously likable enough to certain people that do continue to protect him. I don't get it because we don't know him, and I'm sure he's so great in real life. But what we see on TV is just the biggest suck. Obviously, his friends really genuinely like him, but he is like the captain of suck of everything. He's like not good at politicking. He's a shitty friend. All his arguments are ass backwards. Like, I liked him in Corey fighting because Corey, I feel like, is never articulate, and he articulated Josh under the rug. He's like, no, keep your bullshit away from me. Like,
Yeah.
that I loved the Corey Josh fight because
you can imagine, they didn't show it, but you can imagine Josh coming up and say, how you holding up, man? Why are you asking that question, bro? You know how he's holding up. Not good.
So frustrating because it seems
Yeah.
like he's always fake nice, and he seems like he's a
Yes.
flip-flopper. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle and Kyland were the two in the 5-2 vote of era 4, right? So era 4 is trying to decide from a group perspective, even though, era 4 is saying, nope, Theo and Jenny came in wanting what they wanted, but they're trying to present it under the guise of this was a group vote. But they still did vote. Because Michelle and Kyland, I thought, opposed the vote for era 3.
They were the two.
So
they were the
if
two. But
Casey and Josh joined, that's the whole point.
and
So
that's why Josh sucks
totally
and
that's
Casey
why
too.
Casey and Josh are being so wrong and annoying in this situation. Casey too, because she's saying like, no, it's Theo and Jenny. They just need to own it. It's like, but own your role in it too. Your role is you also did not vote to save your friend Corey. So
If Theo and Jenny said, okay, we're going to put it to a group vote and whatever it comes out to, that's what we're going to vote for, then Casey, you have no leg to stand on there because literally they're giving you the option here to save somebody. So her comments were awful too.
A sham. It's a sham. They knew who they wanted. They still had numbers though. They still had 5-2.
If they wanted to save their friends, they could have, and they didn't. And I was glad that happened because I'd love Tori to defect from Josh and Casey.
Yeah, I'm
fucking Bessie. Like, let Tori, Devin, Michelle, even Jordan, like let it be without the big brothers.
Yeah.
Let it fucking be without them.
And
so,
I'm a fan of Michelle too, because what did Michelle do? She went right to Devin and said, hey, look, this is the BS that's going on. And Devin called it out too. And I'm telling you, every week, this is my season of Michelle. Every week I like her more and more. I don't know what, but this is what I always tell you, ladies. It's like some seasons I like Cara Maria. Some seasons I hate Cara Maria. Well, finally, I know it was like 5 seasons of not liking Michelle, I finally have an episode where I like her.
She's on the right side of history now, Dan. That's why, because she's going to the team we like. That's why it's
Okay,
like
and if that's the reason, that's
Shay,
great. I also think that she
Olivia,
finally
and
picked
whatever.
I also think that she finally picked a man that's going to treat her well. She picks morons every freaking season. I can't get behind that. Sorry,
Michelle
Michelle.
might be in
Yeah.
her, and I always enjoy her, but I don't always like her. And now I like her, which is good. Wait, Corey, yes. So it needs to either be like with stupid Bananas and Laurel. Bananas obviously made it more like Laurel's not voting for Jordan, whatever. When their team was in charge, when they won, and it was Bananas and Laurel, they said we're picking. We can pretend this is a group discussion.
Right,
So
right.
you have it both ways. You can't have a legitimate democracy where the many votes and say, oh, it's Theo and Jenny's fault. Or it's either one or the
Okay,
other, where
but
Theo and Jenny say,
which-
hey, we're
Which
picking,
they
fuck
could
off.
have, but there were still numbers, you know? So I
Would have won. If it was just Theo and Jenny that wanted those two and everybody else didn't, they would have won.
would have been
So to
outnumbered.
say that's the point. It's like, well, you're Casey
Well-
and stupid Josh are just they're so flippy floppy, and they'll just do whatever.
And then like hide under the
Yeah.
sure, Josh was being confrontational, but in like such a defensive
He's always defensive. He is too defensive. It's
unfactual
ridiculous.
and an unfactual way, you know? It just is like I don't know.
Yeah, no, Josh is oh, God bless you, Josh. But yeah, he's
And don't you feel like every season he's always in multiple fights with multiple people? Like
he is
always
sucks.
something.
And I wish he would just embrace villaindom and be like sneaky, but he's the
because
opposite.
he's
He's
not
like,
a
"Oh, I'm
villain."
doing the
Like,
nicest."
He's not doing anything with an ill heart or with ill intentions. That's almost maybe
Which he
part of
would
the
admit,
problem.
I'm looking out for myself and having these better competitors go in and
Yeah.
blame, at least off wink wink like a Wes would do off camera and be like, look, if Jenny and Theo have to do the dirty work and keep my hands clean for getting rid of Corey and Avery, so be it. Like, and we're supposed to be working with that team, but to just always really believe you're the victim is just like, oh, shut up, Josh.
Sorry, I needed a little clean.
All right, let's talk targets now that we fully got our Josh stuff out there. Corey doesn't pick. Casey nominates herself. Tori nominates herself. He picks Laurel, of course, and Rachel has no choice.
Yes. This is where, again, I wish, stop volunteering. Kyland, don't volunteer. Let your teammate fall on the sword and take the L because he pissed off the person who won the elimination. Corey won. Corey has every right to be like, Josh, you're up. But because Kyland's like, I'll do it. I'll be the hero.
I'm with Pam on this. Why the hell did Kyland volunteer this time? Because he knows Josh is full of shit. I know, but Josh didn't even go with the rotation, and then he did the next week. But like, well, why didn't he do it I would have whatever. So then on Rachel's side, Kylan volunteers, Devin volunteers, Ryan volunteers, and there's no other dude. So like, yeah, we didn't get anybody. The only one we got was the Laurel, and that was a good one to get. But I would have preferred a few more. Let's be real.
Hold on, Kylan, Devin. So there's no more guys on Era 1. So it's just a three-way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Era 1 loses, then aren't all the guys safe until Rachel loses? I think the guys are pretty smart. They're going to obviously talk about this. They're going to be like, well, look, why don't we keep throwing Rachel in, hope that she keeps coming back? Because we're going to be safe every freaking week. There's no one to go against us for Era 1.
Well, Ryan and Devin should work together if it's a team thing to get rid of
Kylan.
See, it's Kylan, Ryan, and Devin. I wonder who, because I was going to say, there is no more Era 1 guy. So
I'm wondering if, I don't know. It's weird to say, could they make it?
Too. So it wouldn't hurt to get Casey out for their own game. However, I think is Casey in the vacation alliance with Devin?
Yes, but I hope that Tori feels burned enough by Casey and Josh from last week that she's like, fuck it, let's work with these. Oh, but I want Laurel to go home. So then, see.
Well, hey, look, Laurel can go home next week. We get Laurel go. Casey can go home this week. Laurel can go home 2 weeks from now when she gets back in there.
Fine.
I mean,
Casey can go home this week. Okay.
As long as they both go home, that's fine by me.
It shakes out. It's probably going to be Poor
They
Rachel.
both look. Casey and Laurel have both won recently as well, so they don't need any more money. They're good. Okay, they're all set.
Oh my God, Casey's win. I
I
can't talk
hope it's
about
Casey
it.
versus
Awful win.
Laurel.
These are
I
things
hope it's
we
Casey
can't
versus
speak of.
Laurel. Then I'll be happy no matter what.
All right. Okay. I know Pam didn't do mailbag because we talked about it. Jenna,
Oh,
it's all right. Don't worry, ladies. I got you both covered.
Don't
Here we
call
go.
me
I'm
out. You can
never
interact
going
with
to-
mailbag for us all.
I have two interactive comments that I will read and we will
Okay.
talk about. Okay. I know Jenna's looking now, anyways, just for fun. Here is the first one. It's from Harrison C5614. And Harrison wants to know, what
Go,
was
Harry.
your guys' aim chime when you would send a message? Mine was In the End by Linkin Park. Now, you can answer that if you want, but I also think we should all answer, what was our username? I
Yeah.
think that's the big question because I didn't really have a
Absolutely.
chime. I just like whatever chime was on there, I just let it, I didn't ever change it.
I
But-
was I had the system factory default time. Like
Right.
didn't have
I
a
think it's
special
more
time.
embarrassing for us all to say because mine is embarrassing. So, all right, but ladies first. Ha ha ha. There you go.
I'll go. Because mine's
Just keep him
both
around,
embarrassing.
even though he literally. Well, that's me talking last week, all upset about something. I'm sure about that. Yeah,
Look at comments.
I know what you're trying to do, Jenna. Yes.
Okay, I'll go quickly because I was boring. I did not have a sound, but my sisters did, and it was the cow mooing and the door closing.
Well,
I
it's okay.
had a door close at some point.
I had
That's
the
like
door
an
closed for
involve-
sure.
What was it? It was X baby, like BABEEJ, I think.
XBBJ.
Wait, hold on. This is
You don't remember, Jenna? Like I know mine, like
It was
backwards
that,
and forwards.
like X baby J or something.
Every girl had like sweetie or baby in their name.
And my sisters helped me make it. I'm the youngest of two older sisters. So
There you
my
go.
little sister's was the best ever. Her name is Danielle, nickname D, and her screen name was Lil, Lil.
course.
So 2000, Lil Blazin' D. Like, where did you get that?
I don't know.
That's
I like it though.
Yeah,
love
that's just late 90s stuff
so,
right there.
of
Yeah,
course, with that being my sister, I was X baby J.
of course.
Love it. It sounds sexual, which makes me feel sus about it. But
Were you Pam? I hope yours was Pam Cakes, Pam. Pam Cakes 109.
no, it was Pamela. Just kidding. It was like Camelot. It was Sparkle Dash, and I remember it because I was working with I was babysitting a 5-year-old girl at the time, and it's a My Little Pony. She named me. It's a My Little Pony. Is I think Sparkle Dash, or I think I spelled it wrong. So everyone, but it was Sparkle Dash.
So hold
Okay,
on.
well, that's
So
like
you didn't have to have any numbers after it. You got legit sparkle. You were like the original person on there that didn't need a number after it.
Well, I spelled it wrong, not on purpose, but because I can't spell. So I spelled it SPARKLE. Is it EL or ELE for Sparkle? DASH.
And what was your sound?
There might have been a 1, 2, 3, fucking 4, 5 exclamation mark after it. I don't remember.
What was your sound?
I think I cluck, cluck, like chickens at some point, and I had the door. I remember being like, "All right, I'm leaving."
I think everyone had the door.
Everyone
I
had the door. No, like
had
I
the
don't
door.
remember. I remember just having whatever sound it came with. I don't even know if I knew that I could change it. I was an idiot, probably.
My
Yeah,
sister had the moo, and it was just moo.
Oh, and I remember the moo though. I didn't have.
The moo.
Yeah, I remember the moo.
Yeah, mine was just
But,
time,
like, when
time,
you-
time.
When you say sounds, do you mean like every time you sent like a message, it made the
Forgot a
sound?
message. I
You
think.
got a message. Yeah.
Your away message. Also, what a time. Your bios, your away messages were
Your away messages were great. I love putting away message up.
Yes.
All right. If we don't have time to do mine, that's fine. We don't have to do it. It's no problem.
Yeah,
Damn, we don't even want to hear yours.
And Harrison 862215BC125.
Mine's extra interactive. You ladies can guess what mine is I'll
Okay.
tell you this right now. So
I know what it is.
my brother and I, we don't know why, we had like we wanted to do letters, and we wanted each letter to stand for something in our names. So mine was D, G,
Mm.
G, so 2 G's,
Mm.
S, and then
Mm.
I was born on August 18th, so I had an 18 at the end. So it was DGGS 18. at AOL.
Okay, hold on.
So now you
Now,
can guess what the letters are.
So Dan,
Dan gives good
I was gonna say gives.
fast. Right.
I was gonna say Dan gives Gaston scaries because you love Disney.
So I'll say
Strength
it wasn't a
gives
sentence.
Gaston
It was more
strength.
of, it was things. What did you say, Pam?
Gives Gaston strength.
It was more things I liked. So it's not a sentence. It's just individual things that I liked. So my name
Dan
was Dan. That was the D.
goes gurgling when he swims.
No.
Hold on.
What might I like as a young kid, or I guess now too?
Gullah Gullah.
That starts with a G, the letter G.
Okay, give us a little like
Gummy.
You think I might like gummies? Okay, no, it's not. But you're actually really close with gummies for one of the G's.
Okay, hold on. Goobers.
Goobers, a great guess.
Stop stoppers.
Oh, I
Gobstoppers.
thought you had it. Your ladies are right there.
Gobble? Dan gobble gobbles.
Someone might make this motion when they use it.
Gum.
In junior high, it might have been in a late 90s, early 2000s. Everyone was chewing gum and everyone was obsessed with chewing gum. I don't know why. I don't chew gum at all anymore. But yeah, gum is the second G. The first G is something that I liked. Come on, what 13-year-old doesn't like this? Well, most boys.
No, I was never a 13-year-old
You
boy.
both are them. You both are, come on, you both are this.
Girls. I was gonna say
Dan,
these
girls,
secrets.
gum, sports.
Pamela got it. Sports is the
Dan,
answer.
girls, gum, sports. It's like sunshine, burgers, girls. Yeah.
How
okay.
lame was I, by the way?
No,
You win the lame award. It's almost worse than
it really
PBX. Although
Jay, don't come for my name.
cute.
No,
It's
wait,
cute.
no. My brother's is worse. My brother's is worse.
Okay.
Ready? I'll just tell you. His was
Girls,
his
gum, sports.
all
That
right,
is
whatever. My brother's was CSS49J. The 49 was his soccer number. The J was for my brother. His name is Jeff. Okay. CSS. Guess that it's so bad. He's so weird.
Give
that
us a little hint. So yours was like
Cars.
so
Cars.
Cars. Nope.
for sex. Cars.
Okay. Wait.
Soccer.
One of the S's is sex, but by the way, we weren't having sex, so it's hilarious that he would even put that in
That's
his
the first thing. Right. Cars or cards. Maybe cards.
No, think of another word for girls.
Cat.
It starts with a C. What?
I said cats.
Cats?
Meow. Yeah.
Why would you choose cats for a girl?
Chicks.
Chicks. No.
Sex.
And the other S was sports, obviously. Yeah, there you go.
And
Oh
sports.
my God, these are the worst teenage boys I've ever met.
So Dan, back to your brother.
Oh my
his
God.
friends are like meathead, like at your brother's bachelorette party, though. They're more like traditional bras than you, right?
I guess. I mean, my brother's friends, we all got along. We were all really cool, but we played video games on Friday nights together and tried to hit on girls. I mean, that's all we did. It was
Okay,
good.
but I was okay. All right, okay.
Unsuccessfully,
So that's amazing,
Well,
though. That
yes,
chicks,
very unsuccessfully,
sports.
considering I didn't lose my virginity until college. So yeah, I'm thinking unsuccessfully.
Wow,
right.
let it out there. No, I'm saying
Why not? Who cares?
How can we message you on AIM and you're like, here's my AIM. It's chicks, sex, and sports. And they're like, no, never
Well,
mind.
you didn't necessarily have to tell them what it stood for. You
didn't
just
tell
say
anyone.
the
Yeah.
abbreviations.
When I was younger, allegedly, I really doubt this is true, but when I was in some grade, the rumor was that Adidas was all day I dream about sex. And we were like 12 at the time that was like, like a big
I remember,
deal.
yeah.
But like sex when you're prepubescent has nothing to do with sex. You know what I mean? Like it's only someone that's never had sex would write chicks, sex, sports.
Girls were like, what's it stand for? And you're like, church.
Yeah, state, school.
School, yeah, school.
Cool, church. And
So
All right, I have
funny.
one more that I want to ask. This is for
That was
Jenna
good.
and I
Thank
actually.
you.
I love pandas 27 writes, Jenna and Dan, how are your babies doing? Updates, please. Thought that was nice.
that's so ironic because I'm smelling this burp
Oh,
cloth because it smells like him.
Oh.
Oh, he's so
Well, Jenna,
good.
do you want to
So good.
do you want to tell them his name, or do you want to say how he's doing? You don't have to. I just figured I'd.
He's so good. He's gonna be 1 year next month. End of November, he's gonna be 1 year old. He's so good. How about you,
Yeah.
Dan?
Olivia is great. She will be 1 year old on December 3rd. They're literally like the same
So
age, which is
funny.
crazy, by the
Yeah.
So
way.
yours was first, Jenna?
Say it
I
again?
thought Dan's was first.
No, Jenna's was
No.
like a week or
Oh,
so. November what? End of November, right?
Yeah. 20th. Yeah.
November and December are
They're
okay.
they're literally like a week and a half away, which is
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah. Off.
Freaking days.
Jenna, will you come to California anytime soon? Because now I'll have a house for you to stay at.
I wanted to, but it's gotten so busy. So I'm going to, but I wanted to this fall, and I don't think I can do it this
Oh,
fall.
when it's like cold there and you're miserable, just come for a little while. You won't have to spend any money. Just stay around. It'll be so fun.
Okay.
Hey, all right. Um,
And
and I have a
that's
sad
what that's
announcement
it.
then. If you wanna,
Hmm?
this is my, and then when you come, Jenna, though, this is the fun, and then I'll go to sad if you want to have a sad announcement, but we don't have to have a sad announcement. My fun story though is if you come, Jenna, we can recreate a finale at my new house because it's next to a park and I have a pool. So we can like push each other and we can do all sorts of finale recreation
We have to
stunts.
post the finale. We have to post our
Oh,
I
I
finale.
thought
keep
we
meaning
did.
to do, I
Oh.
keep meaning to do that. Sorry.
Don't forget about it.
We're gonna post it. Also, that was very sweet. I love pandas. Thank you.
Yeah. That was sweet. And I want to see that baby again. So cute.
Oh yes, you did meet him. Also, I want to give a shout to Palmdale's Adonis because I was laughing at and talking smack about bananas with his like show offness about the fact
Uh-huh.
that he's won so many, like he does these silly black and white underwear photo shoots and like him like this acting like he's Michael Jordan with 6 rings. And this is amazing because Pam Del's Adonis says Jen, which also I like it. That's funny because
Jen's
my
fun.
Jen's fun because I'm not actually Jen, but every now and then some people say it and I'm like, okay, I feel
David
like
Punkrock
that's
Christopher
fine that
called
you
you
said,
Jen.
huh?
David Punkrock Christopher called you Jen. Be like, well, Jen is. I
Man,
was like,
punk rock getting brought up multiple episodes now.
yeah,
Fantastic.
Okay, she said Jen, he has 7 rings, not 6. LMAO. To correct you, I know because when he won Total Madness, he started playing 7 Rings by Ariana Grande, and it's like, of course he did.
Oh, by the way,
If the show did, that's funny and fine. That's producers, that's editors. But if he went on his Instagram and was like, breakfast and bottles and I'd be like, of course he did.
I want to bring this up too, real quick. Lil Shorty 407 writes this. Naya did an interview on AfterBuzz TV YT channel, whatever. So I click it. Our boy Benny's back doing the AfterBuzz stuff.
I saw. I knew Benny, but I guess because Benny did an interview with Nia a while ago, I guess he has a more recent one.
But like, is AfterBuzz back just doing?
No, I think it's not. I think maybe Benny did. Maybe Benny knows her and did something recently, but a long time ago, Benny did a AfterBuzz.
Oh,
with.
this wasn't a recent interview with. Yes, it is.
I know that's what I'm saying. Benny
But it's
might.
got the AfterBuzz emblems all over it. So
Jenna
AfterBuzz
has to
must be
answer.
back doing just like Zoom type stuff, unless they're doing it in
Jenna?
person.
I'm
Jenna's
just
raised her
All right,
hand.
hold on. I want to view the raised hand. How do I do that? Do you want me to share
Oh.
screens or something, Jenna? What are we doing here?
No, you don't have to
Just
share
a
anything.
call on her.
It was from 2 weeks ago. So it is new. It is about this season, and it's Benny and Naya.
I listened to it. They talked about
and then,
40. Yeah.
Or is it just Benny doing?
Benny on AfterBuzz's
It's
YouTube
AfterBuzz.
channel.
Oh,
And
YT means YouTube. Okay.
yes.
So
And
now, okay.
So they're,
And
but
the
I think
most-
they're just doing, I don't think they're doing anything in person,
Like
maybe, but I think they're
interviews.
doing things over. So I got to talk to Benny. Hey, no, how come AfterBuzz didn't call any of us to come back? What the hell? I
they
don't know what's going on.
probably heard us.
They're like, dude, that Dan guy talking shit all the time. No way. We were so loyal to AfterBuzz. We did great there. I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah.
We don't need to harp on. I honestly think it's not like I would go back anyways. I would just keep doing this, obviously.
Yeah.
Considering, I mean, not that we make a lot of money, but like there is something that comes out of this.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up this episode. Yeah, I gotta hit up Benny though. Benny and I used to text all the time. I haven't texted him in a while.
Oh,
I do want
really?
to ask him about what's going on. Like, how's
He
he?
can,
How do you
can
get back
be
involved with
invited
AfterBuzz? Yeah.
to our finale recreation after the season's finale. Rachel will just be there with like a dislocated shoulder, cradling her own skull, like trying to get through, saying
Well,
they
yeah,
can't get rid of Rachel now, even if she
that's not
knocks her
true.
block
She
off.
could lose. I'm rooting for Rachel though, for sure. I'm rooting for
Me
Rachel and I'm
too.
rooting for Era 3. I'm a big fan of Era 3 right now. Um, yeah. I think I like everybody in Era 3 at this point. Era 4, I can't stand Casey and Josh, so I can't root for Era 4. And then Era 2, uh, Laurel's pissing me off. So there you go. Yeah, Era 3 is my team right now.
I'm
So
so glad
They still are for me too. Yeah.
Tori's not on Josh and what's her name's team, Casey's team this
Yeah.
I
season.
love that though. I love that she's
Me
pissed
too.
now. So
I'm
this
so
I'm,
glad that there's
I'm
like,
really rooting Era 3. Yeah.
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 All right.
Tell us in the comments below who you rooting for, what era, and what
Yeah.
people. Hey,
Hey.
Yeah.
hey, hey. And tell
Right.
us your aim. If anyone had an aim, I want to hear the aim and why, like what made you make that your aim, because I think those stories are really fascinating. I'm not even just being like funny. I'm being serious. Like I think all of our stories are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think
No, I loved both
there
of
was
yours.
more creativity maybe involved. I don't know. People have like TikTok names and stuff now, but it was never like you would never just put like your name straight up, you know? There had to be
It was
something.
because it wasn't about branding your name back in the day. It was like, let's
Yeah.
have fun and make something fun and silly. And that's kind of changed nowadays, really. If you're, yeah, in all honesty, my Instagram is Daniel B. Lindgren. So there you go.
For anyone who wants to follow,
I
that's it.
really
Anyone
want
wants
to
to
meet your
follow.
brother one day,
Also,
Dan, and
remember
just
at AfterBuzz when we had to go around and do our Twitter handles?
Well, they freaking, you know what? That pissed me off because I actually had Daniel.Lingren back in the day as my Instagram, and I was great. But then Twitter didn't allow you to have a period in your name. And Dan, we really want your Twitter and your Instagram to match up for AfterBuzz. So I changed it to the Dan Lindgren on both because Daniel Lindgren wasn't available. But now I just
mine
made
has
now I put
periods
it,
in it.
huh?
Oh, maybe not. I don't even know. I think mine has periods in it.
Not on Twitter. Can't be on Twitter.
I guess not. I guess it's just period free on Twitter.
Or maybe they changed it, but back in the 2016 when I joined AfterBuzz, the period was not allowed on Twitter, or now X or whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
this has been real fun,
Yeah.
everybody.
Love you guys.
All right, see you
Thank
later.
you, everybody.
Bye.